activity. You can make repeating events. The repeating events is great for having your company meeting schedule up here. If you have a department meeting every Wednesday at 8 a.m. and then a manager's meeting at such and such a time, you can make those recurring so they automatically pop up as well. You can put details in your meeting. You've got all the punctuation tools you might need. So we're going to remind everybody to be there on time, please. And we really want to stress everybody being there on time, so we're going to make that nice and big and red. And we'll say OK. So you'll see our events posted on our front page now. This just kind of lists it again as an item. If you want it to look like a calendar, remember with the company news we showed what different layout options there are. You'll see with calendars there are several different layout options. There's a current events option, which is only going to show things that are coming up in the near future. You know, if you've got a lot of appointments in here and some of them are a few months out, once it reaches a certain level, you're only going to see what's considered to be the current events. I'll move this to calendar view just to give you an idea of how this can look. And you see now we've really got a full calendar on our website. But also how I mentioned that since this is set to automatically size itself, it pushed our content all the way to the right on our right column. So you may or may not like the way this looks. You can see our company picnic there. You can click on this item again to go into it, view the details. Again, if you've got permissions, you can edit the item, delete it, give everybody else permissions. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to shrink this down a little bit so I can see everything without having to scroll. I don't really like having to scroll all over the place. So again, I'm going to hit that down arrow and choose Modify My Shared Web Part. And under Appearance, I'm going to set this to have a fixed width. Now, the only thing to remember about this is when you're setting a fixed width, if people have bigger monitors or real small monitors, it's going to look different for everybody because this is setting it just based on how I'm seeing it right now. I've got set at a little lower resolution so it's easy for everybody to see on the webinar. But our other staff members here have a lot bigger monitors, so this is going to be shrunk way down, and the middle column is going to seem kind of thin and narrow. So again, usually best if you can use the the auto fit. But looking at our calendar still, I can scroll to the right and still see our company picnic there. You'll notice that you can choose to put your calendar in a one-day view, so it's more like what's going on today. You can scroll around through the different days. And then there's also the weekly view, of course, too. Some of the other content here, other web parts, one of the defaults, again, is links. Now, we might not necessarily just want that to say links. So, we could go in here and go into Appearance and name it like company links, or you're going to maintain your list of carrier websites here or company websites, so you might call it carrier websites or company links. We'll add a new link and just show you what it looks like and what you can put in here. Okay, so you've got the web address. It's as simple as just typing in the web address. So we'll say Smart Services is our most important company, so we're going to put that first, and we'll put in the web address and we'll put in a title. And in the notes field, you can put pretty much anything you want. You might just say this is our IT company, or if it's a company website, you might say use this section for the following, or put your passwords in here. There's a click here to test, which will actually open up the site you're looking at in a new window. Again, I'm on a virtual web server here that I didn't give access to the outside. Didn't want anything to happen to it. But that's good just to make sure you've got the correct web address in before you're actually committing that content to your website. And when you're done, you say OK. So, it can seem a little bit daunting to have to put, 20 or 30 or 40 different web links up there at once. But remember, once you've got them up there, everybody's seeing the same thing, everybody's using the same resources, and all your users are on the same page. Some of the other content we can put in the web parts. Let's look at the shared documents. Now, the shared documents is one of the most powerful web parts in SharePoint, and really one of the most useful. You can, put any kind of file in these. It can be Word files, Excel, PDFs, faxes. You can actually put zipped up files of lots of pictures or just individual pictures. Really, any kind of file can be put up here. Audio, video, you name it. You can also actually create new documents right from here just by clicking on New. And obviously, I don't have Word installed on here, and I made this a default like an Office document library. You can upload your documents by simply browsing for them, putting them up in here. When we create our document library, you can tell it whether you want the ability to upload multiple documents at a time, which is good. Makes it a lot easier if you're going to upload, say, your whole training manual, and you've got 30 different Word docs that make up your training manual. Saves a lot of time from having to upload those things individually. So I'll show you again just how simple and easy it is to put a document up here. We'll just find any old file, because again, anything can be added in here. And there's our document. So to edit that document, you can go in our library and choose Edit. You can just simply click on it to open it up. You can send to, and you can email it to somebody else, or you can just download a copy to your own computer. You'll see a checkout option here, which is a thing that's, again, very useful in SharePoint. What this basically is like going to the library and checking out a book. You're the person managing this document at this time. So if I were to check this document out, which is what you would want to do if you're going to be editing this document, first thing is other users can actually see that this document's checked out. So they're going to know somebody's editing it. Because you have you'll see a document checked out. Now, since I have it checked out, what I would do is I'll edit this document. Oops. So, I'm going to make some changes to this document, whatever. I'm going to update some client codes, whatever we're going to do with it here. And when you check your document in, you're done editing, you'll have a couple different options. If you want to keep it checked out, and then some comments. Notes on what you were changing. Now, where this is useful is I'll show you in a minute when we make a new document library. We've got some more advanced options that aren't on just this default one, and that's called versioning. That'll actually track, every version of that file. Say somebody 2 weeks ago made an edit to that file, and then you made an edit, but you realized you didn't like what they did, so you can go back to whichever version was the one that you really wanted to keep maintained. So again, as we make some new web parts, I'll show you how the versioning stuff works. You've got your task list, which again is pretty similar to an Outlook task list. It's good for just tracking things for yourself. But other ways to look at this is, well, what if we don't want a task list per se, but what other things can we do with this? Some common things I've seen agencies do and be quite successful with is, managing goals. Because you can create a task that's actually a goal, whether it be on a company level or on a department level. You might have your personal lines manager creating a department task list and, having several in there for the department. So let me show you what some of the options are you can do with this. Again, you'll give it a title. And what we might say here is we want to round out, let's see, 20% of our existing business or our existing accounts. Again, just like